Hey, Palm Tree. All right, quick little story time since it's topical. Now, after the recent downfall of No Jumper, with AD leaving, T-Rell leaving as well, Duno leaving, Gina leaving, House Phone leaving before all of them, I guess now is a as good of a time as any to finally tell you guys this story. Yes, in 2021, I was offered a job by No Jumper and I did not take it. Now, immediately after that, I kind of regretted that decision because I continued to watch the platform grow and evolve, and then they got sharp. I think shortly, not long after that. But let me take you back to the summer of 2021. So at the time, I had just started a job working for the Citizen app. What was I doing there? So I was working as a associate field producer, but basically I was on their street team. So as a street team reporter, basically. So for the first 90 days of that job, I was getting driven around like all around LA, like mostly downtown Hollywood, Los Feliz, Koreatown, places like that. And then they gave me an iPhone. I'd hop out, go live, and then talk about what I was seeing. Amazing experience. And I had been doing that a couple of months when I got a message from my friend Vashtai, who works on No Jumper. You see her sometimes. She's not a personality on the platform, but she's an assistant there. So you'll see her in the background of some of their more recent videos. But we've been cool for a few years. She actually shot my interview from 2017 with Duckworth. So anyway, the homegirl reaches out to me and says, "Hey, we're hiring. You should apply." I applied. Shortly after, while I'm working for Citizen, I had a phone call with Josh, who is Adam's brother-in-law and also the business manager at No Jumper. So I had a phone call with Josh. We hit it off. Everything was cool. Then the following week, I had a Zoom with Adam, who had his screen blacked out for some reason. I guess he didn't want people screenshotting him and like bragging for clout that they're in the running for this job. Okay, that makes sense. So there was Adam, Josh, and that cat Jason, who does their merch and Photoshop stuff. Okay. Needless to say, we got along. The following week, I went to their last office in Burbank before they got the new $1 million facility. I go to their last place and I had a meeting face to face with Adam. Now, this was not the first time I had been around Adam 22. Over the years of running Palm and No Jumper have been around basically the same amount of time. And I've always been a supporter. I've always, rep Rope Gang and loyally watched many of his interviews, vlogs, content, and etc. And even pulled up to a couple like events they had when the store was on Melrose. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I've bumped shoulders with Adam many times, and dapped him up, and never quite got a good vibe out of dude. I mean, honestly, he clouded than a motherfucker. Honestly, the nigga ain't really that approachable. Let's just be me being honest in my direct experience, right? But anyway, had no and still have no disrespect to the dude. But anyway, handful of times bumped into him at the store or seen him at like Ham on Everything parties and seen him at a East Memphis Boys show. Yeah, that was way back in 2016. But yeah, over the years, bumped into him a few times. So he did remember Palm and remember me when in that Zoom call once I reminded him, this is what I do. So anyway, fast forward, we had the face to face meeting. Um, the position was for a social media assistant. Originally, it was posted on Indeed or LinkedIn, I forget which, that the position was for social media manager, but they took it down to assistant, right? Um, Conversation went well. The job would have basically been just finding stuff for them to post on IG and Twitter. Finding stories for them, be it crazy news shit that happens, like the crazy fist fights or the headlining interesting news or anything a rapper says or does that could be post worthy, right? So, here's why I had to really think about it. Because here, put yourself in my shoes for 1 minute. Here I am, spent you know, 2 months at a job that I really liked, was working with great people, doing something that I thought was awesome. And, the song Dead Prez comes to mind because I felt like, comparing my job at Citizen to what I would have been doing at No Jumper, with Citizen was like, it's bigger than hip hop. You know what I mean? I felt like I was serving a higher purpose because at the end of the day, as a journalist, I had an opportunity to be a part of a new lane opening up as far as the content of news. And there's a difference between being an employee and a fan. And lo and behold, we see what happened to many of the employees at No Jumper, right? Okay, so after tough consideration and deliberation, I just told Josh, the following week on the phone or whatever, hey man, thank you so much for the offer. At this time, you know what, I am not ready to leave where I currently am, but I would like to continue the relationship with you guys so that if a possibility of something becoming opening in the future, you can reach out to me. Okay? Right. Well, didn't really contact Josh. Well, we stayed in loose contact. I would just text him like out the blue every now and then. But going forward, that was kind of that. And lo and behold, I ended up getting laid off from the Citizen job about 3-4 months later. Why? Because it's a startup company. So like it's constantly a roller coaster where they're experimenting with what works and doesn't work financially. And having that street team or having the drivers at first didn't work financially. So then they reverted to, okay, and the reporters had to drive themselves, which I felt was crazy, but it somehow worked for a little while longer. And then they got rid of everybody on the street teams. I don't know what's going on over there anymore, but I can tell you summer 2021 was the shit. Okay? So, No Jumper. Let me think about what's going on there today. First of all, props to AD and T-Rell. They were, still at No Jumper and building up their platforms, community, and back on Fig. And when shit hit the fan and they were felt some type of way about how business was done by Adam, they chose to leave, and it was a domino effect since then with most of their staff with a lot of the on-air personalities from that channel leaving to go build up their own. Now check this out, man. I got a platform. Been running a platform for 8 years. Is it as big as No Jumper? Hell the fuck no, bro. I got 1.75 subscribers. Yeah, I got 1,700 something subscribers. They got like 5 million. Ain't no motherfucking comparison, right? All right, so we all know that. But I do this. I'm going to do this. This is going to continue to elevate and elevate and elevate, and it's on me to make sure it continues and elevate and elevate and elevate. You get what I mean? So I was already like on the independent do it your own wave. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I tried over the years to land jobs and do what I can to like get in position for this, that, and the third. But, when you're getting turned down by like Warner music assistant and Interscope marketing assistant and Capital and blah blah blah. No, not that I'm like super looking at these places, but I have. But I just feel like there are. Let me not say feel like. I believe that there are more politics to who's getting in positions for these jobs. And the crazy thing is that I know people who work these jobs, and a lot of them are not that happy. I believe I have a lot to offer, and that's why I've been able to continue this platform and continue to grow my presence as an authority on independent music over these years. So at this point in the game, I would rather see myself building my network and acquiring more business myself than trying to work for a company in the music industry. Right? And don't get me wrong, I am still open for if that right job opens up, I'm applying and I'm taking it, But just what's going on with me personally right now, and the fact that I am working part-time at TV City in Radford Studios is like, um, I just don't have that urge to like, okay, now I'm gonna go work harder so I can go work for somebody else. Like, bro, I could be like working hard for myself, you know. And I don't like we're working hard. I like working smart. You know what I mean? Um, and don't get me wrong, I want the the 401k and the healthcare and all those good things. But you know, it's you're not getting offered that right away when you get into any of these companies in entertainment, right? This is a kiss a lot of ass before they hand you any toilet paper business, right? So meaning that you got to do a lot of steps to cut your teeth and prove what you do before you receive the payoff of that, right? So, it took me like a couple years to even make $1 off a palm. Like initially, yeah, like the first year, I remember a couple people like they PayPal'd me like $20 or $100 or 50, $60 to do this and that. Like literally like a couple people. But the first like full year didn't make a cent. Not a cent. Not a cent. I'm not even afraid of that. No, that's where I'm at with thickness protection program right now. Like, and I believe thickness protection program will be a bigger brand than Palm. I expect it to be a bigger movement and a bigger thing, and I believe I was called for a higher purpose by interviewing people in the sex industry. But that's a different topic. All I wanted to say was, you know what, in terms of Adam, I believe, according to his former colleagues or former employees, rather, they left that organization because Adam showed no accountability. He didn't admit that he did wrong by house phone. He didn't admit that he had a miscommunication with AD and didn't, he put, as many people are saying, he put business first and friendship second. But there are so many life or death situations that, AD stuck out his neck for Adam, that so many of that cast were riding for him that they just felt like that loyalty from their boss was not reciprocated. Okay. So initially I did regret not taking the job with No Jumper after I was laid off by Citizen, but what I did in turn learn was this, and I've applied this to many things in my life. Listen up. A slight miscalculation can never keep me from the destination, right? And trust me, this platform could have been bigger. I would have had, thousands of more followers by now if I were to accept that. I get that. But at the same time, again, there is a difference between being a viewer and an employee. So in the long run, looking at, what happened now with No Jumper is like, I don't regret making that decision. I'm going to keep doing me. It was too early to jump ship at the time. And 2 years later, the ship sank. Like, I currently, you know what? It's like I almost feel bad for the artists who recently have done interviews on No Jumper. Because you take a look at the comment section, the majority of the comments aren't even feeling Adam. I mean, with all of the allegations of sexual misconduct and being involved with underage girls, it's just very slimy. And then once AD and T-Rell left, then he has this podcast interview with somebody who's like a neo-Nazi. It's just very questionable about his character and about his ethics. And, I again respect the fuck out of the man's work, the empire he built, but it's kind of like the empire has fallen in a way. And it ushers in a new day in music media. It ushers in a new day in hip hop media for real. Because now it's like, you got all of these brothers from the hood doing YouTube channels. And let me just say this, as a brother who's not from the hood, I am really trying to cultivate, and we all know, I don't talk much like on here, not nearly as much as I should, but we are all trying to I'm trying to cultivate like uh lane where, for as far as the music side, like you could be a hood nigga, you could be like nerdy, like a backpack sound, you could be like a hipster type, but it's all palm, like it's all palm tree, like it's all family, you know. So those who ride for me, I ride for. Okay. So yeah, no disrespect to anyone currently at No Jumper or anybody who has worked there in the past. AD recently followed me back on Instagram. Shout out to him for that. I haven't, like, I've been in the same room with him before, but we haven't, like, you know what I mean, like shaking hands, like, yo, what's up? I'm Palm. But I have met Duno. Funny story. This was sometime last year. It was late at night. I was just sitting here in my room late at night, like super late, like past 2 a.m. I went live with Gina Views, Sharp, and Pot Lord, and that was so fucking embarrassing because I'm just like laying in the bed chilling, and then I think I just finished editing Thickness Protection Program. So they was like, "Sup, what you doing?" And I said, "Just editing a podcast episode." And the nigga Sharp goes, "Oh, you already trying to plug some shit?" And I'm like, first of all, I love watching Sharp. He's so dope. And I gave him all the props about, oh yeah, soft white underbelly to No Jumper, CEO Elevation. I love watching you, dude. Keep doing what you're doing, you know. But that conversation went a little awkward, you know. Honestly, I'm kind of glad it did. Because the truth of the matter is like, I'm still gonna do me, motherfucker. Duh. You know? So like, no, again, no disrespect to Sharp. If I see that nigga, I'm dapping him up and, you know, telling him again how dope he is. And like, I have a funny way of reminding dude that we went live together one time. But nah, man, I'm not beating myself over that bullshit. But yeah, no no disrespect to No Jumper, and like they definitely cemented themselves as like a authoritative figure along the likes of like a World Star, a Double XL, a Complex. As far as like when you log on to IG and the people who are breaking the news and like I'm doing facepalm of the day reactions and this that and the third, that's all No Jumper. That's all. It's not all Adam, but it's all No Jumper. You got to respect Adam for like really opening up a lane for the SoundCloud rappers to really have a voice, because it was kind of like him and then Lee or Intuition from Kind of Neat, and that's about it. I'm Mascarilla, and then, you know, I tried to, you know, this is my attempt at being like the people I admired. So, but yeah. Anyway, bro, I just had to, you know, put some paint where it ain't and explain to you guys the whole story of, yes, I did get offered a job by No Jumper. I didn't take it. Now you know why. Held that story in for like 2 years, and that felt like I took a mighty good dump right now because I had to explain that shit to y'all. All right, so let me know what you think of this story. Now you know it. Peace, love, palm. Make sure you're subscribed and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. All right, later.